Hello again, everybody. Dr. Glenn with Infinite Wellness, here to answer some more of the questions that you've asked and provide you with a little bit more information. Hopefully, this will be beneficial to you today. We get to talk a little bit about something that a lot of people don't know that I do as much. Please like our channel and subscribe and keep asking questions.
So today our question says, what is cupping? What are the benefits? And what can it be used for?
Excellent. And yes, one of the things we do provide here as a alternative medicine provider, as well as acupuncture, is cupping. And cupping is a technique used predominantly. It originated in the Orient. It is done traditionally with glass cups and actual fire. It is a technique used to draw internal stuff, usually things that have been damaged or injured, where there's usually long-term injury, not as much acute injury, but longer injury, where things probably have had damage internally to the inner parts of the body. Cupping is a great way to help try to draw some of that old latent blood, possibly some clotting, lighten scar tissue, draw some of that stuff closer to the surface, create more blood flow in that area so that the body can break down some of that toxicity and get rid of any old, just things that aren't moving and not gliding the way they're supposed to inside of the body, in particular old blood. So yes, one of the things that we do with that is traditional with glass and fire. We do it to try to alleviate some older conditions. It's usually used on large parts of the body, not small. Kind of hard to cup your finger, or if you injured something little. I stubbed my big toe on the bed frame. Probably not going to be able to do cupping for that. But things where there's been older injuries, car accidents with low back trauma, or shoulder issues, big issues, including larger body parts. So even up around the upper part of the leg or the knee, possibly a hip injury, post-surgical stuff on, say, a hip or a low back. All great things to use cupping for. And its primary purpose, again, like I said, is to use heat and suction to draw some of that older stuff that may have been injured, in particular old latent blood and things like that, to the surface so the body can break it down and rid itself of that faster. It increases lymphatic flow. It'll increase some tissue sweating, which brings out some of the toxins through the muscle. So it's great for all of those type things.
What are the benefits of the glass cups versus like plastic or
Excellent.
suction type cups?
Perfect. Great question. Yes, and there is a big difference. Plastic cupping seems to be the new thing right now. It's easier. It's less equipment. There's less chances of burns, stuff of this nature. Massage therapy and a lot of the other fields are doing it. And plastic cupping is just directly suction. Often there is no heat whatsoever with cupping. So a lot of what you're getting at the massage therapist or elsewhere, where it's just plastic cups using a tool to draw air out of it, is creating just a suction on top. No direct heat. And with heat, with old fire cupping, the way we do it, with a glass cup and true fire, you get a great deal of heat. That heat is able to draw better. It draws more tissue upward. Glass cups are much smoother along their edge, so they're easier to take along the skin and be able to move them, what we call gliding. And we glide them along the skin so I can treat more than just one area at a time. I don't just stick them on there and then pull them off. They usually leave much less, believe it or not, scarring or that darkening condition. Oftentimes you see people who've had cupping with just pure suction, and there's that big one dark mark. Actual fire cupping doesn't leave that really. It leaves more of a small area that's very reddened, but in longer streaked periods because we move them. And so fire cupping is a little bit more effective, I believe, to draw stuff upward using that heat as well as suction, as well as it's a lot easier to move them around and cover a better area a little bit more strategically, as opposed to just the round suction spots that you put it on. So yeah, big fan of the fire cupping. I've done it for years. It's a wonderful technique. Love it a bunch. It's part of this video we're doing. Please feel free to watch, and we'll give you updates. And we'll show you kind of how it progresses and how it heals a little bit faster. I have a patient that's agreed to send me some photos, follow updates, so that you can see progression. But oftentimes fire cupping leaves a lot less bruising and a lot less of that sore feeling. It's much more comfortable than just good old plastic cups that if you try to slide or move, they scratch.
Can you use cupping for an injury that happened like 20, 30, 40 years ago? Or is it better for just like stuff that happened more recent?
In fact, it's actually better for the long-term injuries. Recent injury usually doesn't require a lot of things like cupping yet. Oftentimes, Techniques like just plain old massage therapy, regular good deep tissue work will do a lot better for an acute injury, something that's happened very recently, something you're still healing from. Cupping is really more beneficial when it comes to the older, long-term injuries, things that have happened and have been years in the making and really have never been addressed. Trying to bring out some of the old stuff that's left over from year-old injuries is really where cupping shines. That's probably one of its best things. So yeah, it's actually better to use on much, much older injuries that have occurred and have just not been addressed over the years like they should have been. So not that they're not beneficial for acute injury, but acute injury is still in a healing phase. We don't do as much cupping for things like that. It's really more for older, long-term type injuries that have not been addressed.